Okay, so what I'd like to speak to you today about is the £1,000,000 plan. I'm going to go over this very, very quickly because there's quite a long blog on my website, MatthewSarabadu.com. It's Matthew with two T's and then Sarabadu, Sarabadu. So MatthewSarabadu.com. Um, so it's a plan, it's a formula that, you know, nothing is rocket science, nothing is, revolutionary, but it's a plan. It's a plan that's been written by Paul J. Meyer when he started LMI. And basically, it all stems back to motivation. Now, when we talk about motivation, we talk about the qualities that people, you know, possess and their application of those qualities based on their motivation. Now, lots of people have skills, aptitudes, training, job knowledge, intelligence, all that other stuff. But ultimately, it's the motivation that sets the people who are the most successful from the people who have all those things but don't necessarily capitalise or utilise those things to their maximum. Now, there's basically five aspects to the £1,000,000 plan, and I'm just going to rattle through them very, very quickly. The first one is goals. You know, uh, you've got to plan your work and then work your plan. That's a fairly prevalent sort of saying out there. But basically, what it's saying is you can't get to where you're going unless you know where you're going, and that's why goals are so important. Uh, it's a bit like using a map. If you just pick up a map one day, you don't know where ultimately you want to get to. You could go round and round in circles, quite literally. So goals. Then the important thing is once you've got those goals, it's about the formulation of a plan. So now that you know where you're going, how are you going to get there? And again, going back to that analogy of a map, you know, when people know where they want to get to, they then plan their route. Now, if we've used SatNavs, if we've used, I don't know, RSE Planner on the web, we all know that we can take the most direct route, which in many cases is the ideal. But, again, from our experience of using those new technologies or technologies, we also know that sometimes there's better ways to get somewhere. Um, you know, I'm at a hotel just off of Junction 10 of the M6, and ultimately I know that if I was coming from, say, Telford, if it was first thing in the morning, I might have a problem coming down the M54 and then from the various junction from the M6 because it's very busy, everybody coming into Birmingham. So therefore I know that the actual distance might be longer coming through the smaller roads, but ultimately I could get there much quicker, I could get there with less stress, and that is a really, really key important. Even when we talk about goals, we talk about straight line goals, and that's brilliant because generally speaking, we're talking about time. But the reason why I mention this is because if you set a goal and you're here and your goal's there, the ideal is to get there in the quickest time possible. Of course it is. But just remember, every time there's a setback, it's not necessarily a setback because it might enable you to get there quicker ultimately. So if you reframe those potential negative effects into positive ones, then you can deal with them much more effectively. But remember that basically the price of your goal is the setting or the formulation of your plan. It is hard. This is where I help out my clients. Not only do I help them, you know, formalise, distill their goals, I also help them set those plans as well. But things get easier as you do it more and more. Goal setting, the creation of plans, etc., does get very, 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 very simple. And then the next thing is desire, because ultimately, without desire, you know, our ability to focus, our ability to apply ourselves might not necessarily show. So desire is probably one of the greatest facets to the £1,000,000 plan. You'll have all come across people, in your own lives who maybe weren't as skilled as, 10 people standing next to them, didn't necessarily have the experience, didn't necessarily have the education, but ultimately, because they've got the desire, they've been able to push themselves forward. They've been able to break the barriers. They've been able to get further than those other people. You know, when I refer to another blog post, video blog that I've done, where I talked about getting started, a lot of the time with these people, that desire has just made sure that it's got them started. It's as simple as that. So yeah, desire, very, very important. Very important. And then confidence. You know, out of desire, hopefully comes confidence, because it's a bit like public speaking that everybody can relate to. I don't think anybody, when they first started public speaking, liked it. But ultimately, once you do it once, the more times you do it, the more confidence you get. And sometimes, if you've made that decision that you want to be confident doing public speaking, that desire has come through, and then the confidence then comes after it. And then finally, determination. Similar to desire, but determination is what keeps you going. The way I like to refer to it as desire, it can quite often be what started you on your journey. So determination, like I say, we're all going to fail at some things. We're all going to make mistakes. You know, some of them are going to be financial, some of them are going to be emotional. There's going to be all kinds of things that go right or wrong, and you know, generally, as the saying goes, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. But ultimately, determination is what keeps us going. So those are the 5 facets of the £1 Million Plan. If you can think deeply about those, if you can bring them up within yourselves, and if you can apply them, then ultimately, you know, you'll be taking yourself very much on that road to making yourself very, very, very successful. So I hope that was interesting. Like I say, check out the written blog as well on the website, matthewsrabadoo.com. Thanks very much.